So what are the challenges that we face as storytellers? And when I say storyteller, I mean really oral storyteller, as opposed to, well, I mean, everybody nowadays is being described, whether you're making films, of course you're writing a book, if you're going to be a successful leader, any prime minister worth their salt is probably a good storyteller. But I'm speaking really of someone like myself who calls himself a professional storyteller and wants to stand up in front of a group of people. And one of the challenges really is persuading anyone over the age of 10 that they should actually come and listen to a story, because sadly storytelling has become associated very much as a children's activity, and people see that in the same way. Rather, I'm very interested in masks and I love performing with masks, and within Western culture certainly the role of the mask, sadly due to the influence of the Catholic Church, has long been associated with Satanism and therefore has been really marginalized, and masks are now only something that you bring out for Halloween and kind of scary movies. And there are very few mask traditions that have survived, apart from the Commedia dell'arte in Italy, the big festival in Basel every Lent. So if we're faced with this issue that people often, their first instinct is, if you say that you're a storyteller, oh, that you work with kids. And so how do you market that? How do you offer it to adults? One of the things whenever I do workshops for parents, for example, is that I say, if you bring your kids to a Disney show, high five, that kind of thing, your kids probably will love it, but you yourself very ho-hum and probably not engaged. Whereas when you bring your kids to a storytelling event, it's very likely that you will also find something in the stories that speaks to you and makes a connection for you, and you will come away engaged and enriched by the experience. So that's, I think, our big challenge, is how to, if you like, broaden the brand of storytelling as something that is of appeal to the average man in the street. Business leaders, corporates, government, certainly here in Singapore, is very aware of the importance of using story as a way to hand on a message in a way that is not paternalistic, is not threatening people, but as a way that will engage and make what may be a quite abstract message to be very concrete, and one with which the audience can have an emotional connection. So I see that really as the challenge. And unfortunately, that this kind of storytelling that I'm speaking of relies on this very personal connection. And the moment you put it on digital, it's fixed. And if you come back and you log on to this tomorrow, I will be saying exactly the same thing in exactly the same way, and I will scratch my head at exactly the same point in the story. Whereas when you tell a story live to an audience, unlike when you're an actor and you've learnt your script and you repeat the same thing because you've got other people on the stage with you who need to be given a cue, or even if there are other people, the lighting guy up there needs to know the cue when he's going to go to the next lighting effect. When you tell a story, you are really using the words that come to you off the top of your head, and you are able to adapt the way that you tell the story to suit this particular audience and this particular occasion. And so it may be the same story that you told yesterday, but this is a very different group of people, and the reason why you're telling the story may be quite different. And so you will focus on something else, highlight a different aspect of the story, perhaps put in different jokes to appeal, or whatever it is, the references that will connect with your audience. And for me, that the live quality of storytelling is one of the things that makes it very attractive, that I can look into the eyes of my audience. And the moment that you put it onto digital, yes, you've got that wow, that fantastic reach, and if you're blessed and you go viral, well then wow, so many people may know what it is that you're speaking about. But whether it has the same connection. Yes, there's that immediate, oh, I've got to watch this. But if they, a week later, no, they've probably moved on and there isn't that connection. So getting people to understand the value of sitting in the same space with someone telling their story, whether that's a true story or a traditional story, and how that may resonate in terms of your own experience, that's the major challenge.